Hey, I'm Rod Long.
I'm June Long. And we just wanted to, for our 22nd wedding anniversary, share a little bit about our story. A lot of people always ask how we met, and they hear little bits and pieces, but we want to tell the whole thing, right?
Right. We're going to give you the short version.
I've given the short version many times, but yeah. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
Okay. So we met. This was around 2001.
Maybe
2001,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. I was in Houston, Texas, and you were in South Carolina. You know, our destinies brought us to Yahoo.
Yahoo music chat rooms back in the day.
Yeah, so it was a chat room back in the day on Yahoo that we used to go in, and it was kind of like Clubhouse is now. Like, there was a bunch of different rooms you could go in for like music or art or whatever you were into. You could find these chat rooms,
And even the music rooms had different genres. Like there would be like gospel,
Right.
all different kinds of rooms.
right?
I can't remember which one we were in.
I
think
was
we were
over
in
there at R&B.
Yeah, I think we were in the R&B. We were in the R&B room, and
Yeah.
so like I found myself in there. It was like, for some of you who don't know, I used to have a very, very, very bad stage fright. Fear of being on stage, fear of singing in front of people, and in the chat room, there was like you could turn on your microphone and you could sing. Nobody could see you, and it kind of became my safe space to like test out. People say, "Oh, you can sing," my family, but I never was able to really get up the nerve to sing in front of other people. So I could sing on that in the chat room. Nobody could see me because I don't even think was there even video at the time. I don't know.
I can't remember if there was
Yeah.
video, but I remember going in that chat room, and I would hear, a bunch of different people from all over the country in there singing, and I can't even remember why or how I even went. I think I was just trying it out and just went in there, and she was in there singing, and I noticed her voice. She had a very unique voice, and at the time I was coming up as a record producer and songwriter myself. I was doing a lot of studio work then, and so I was like, well, man, maybe we can connect and do some work together in the studio, because I hadn't seen her yet. I didn't know what she looked like, because
right, yeah.
it was just voice at this point. So
Yeah, so that's true. So then over time, we just became really, really friends. I actually was kind of seeing somebody at the time, and I think you were in or coming out of seeing somebody at the time.
Right.
And so I was just really, at that time, I had actually decided to end my relationship because I wanted to, I had been praying and telling the Lord I want to be a wife, and he was showing me some things in the Word. I was, I had just finally started coming back to the church, and getting serious about my walk with God. I grew up in church, but my mom's a preacher, my grandma was a pastor, so there's a lot of ministry happening around me, but I wasn't necessarily a part of it. I was just there. And so I was asking the Lord about that, and he kind of took me on a journey of, number one, celibacy, and just changing my
celibacy. So what were you doing before him?
What is it? Be quiet. Be quiet. So anyways, so yeah, that, and just becoming pure and worthy of marriage, or worthy of a marriage that would be honoring to God, and with somebody who he would approve of. Let's say that. And so
he stamped the approval.
well, we're gonna get there. So you said you heard me, and so we kind of started. We took it from the chat room to the private message room.
Right. I got in her DM.
Yeah, he slid in my DM, but it wasn't even that. It was still friends. We were just friends.
Right. We were still friends. She had a boyfriend, and I respected that. And to be honest, I was at a place in my walk with God where I was seeking the Lord as well for some things, specifically in the area of music. And the Lord kind of had me on a journey of, I felt like the Lord wanted me to steer clear of like trying to pursue dating and stuff like that during that time. I was laser focused, and again, just kind of went in there to network. She was in there, we connected, slid in the DMs. It went a little bit further. So
well, let's get into it. Okay, so then we literally just chatted for probably a year.
yeah.
And I didn't have a cell phone. He had a cell phone. So he had more freedom. If I wanted to talk to him, I literally had to just sit on that lazy boy chair at my mom's house, because I had left college and came back home.
With the rotary dial, like.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was, but who knows? But I literally had to sit there because I didn't have. There was no phones all through the house. It was like just sitting there. I don't even think we had a cordless phone at the time. So, you know, he could go around about his day because he had a cell phone. He had that luxury. I did. But I realized that I was willing to sit there in that lazy boy just so I could talk to him for hours and hours. And he was doing prepaid phone cards so that he could call me, because long distance was a thing back then.
Yeah, long distance was a thing back then, and even if you had a cell phone, you were running on minutes. So I kept having to buy like minute packs and, you know, calling cards and stuff like that. So
yeah, I remember buying a few calling cards myself. But so after that, after talking on the phone, chatting for a year, I know eventually I did find out how to do like a video. I think my mom bought like a video camera, and it was kind of, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the best quality, but I was able to probably do that once or something like that. But I also was able to scan a photo of myself and email it to him. I figured out it took forever. My goodness. So there was no camera phones and things like that. So I had to actually take a Polaroid picture of myself, put it on the scanner, scan it, and figure out how to email it. Wow, I can't believe that.
and I think I had to do the same
No,
thing.
you couldn't figure it out. So he put an actual real.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. I couldn't figure out the scanner, y'all. And so I had to put a real photo in the mail, snail mail, and mail it to South Carolina. Now that's crazy.
Yeah, so finally we were able to see who we were talking to and verify we are human beings and that we're of the opposite sex. And then, you know, we took it from there. And I was scared to fly, so I wasn't going to fly. But after talking for a year, we both said it was time to meet.
Wait, let's go back. So when I saw her photo and I saw that melanin, beautiful skin, and their beautiful eyes, I knew at that point when I first saw the photo that we were going to get married. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Wow.
I knew the Lord, like I felt, the Bible says that that if your conscience doesn't condemn you. I had already been praying. When I saw the photo, I immediately felt peace about it, and then that's when I began to put the full court press on.
And I had no idea of that. He was so not weird. He wasn't like, the Lord told me. You know, he didn't do any of that. We just kept getting to know one another. Now, one thing I will say, and I say he's a prophet now, but back then he was outright lied.
Now that's funny.
So when we were connecting basically for music at first, and that was our common interest. He told me that he was a producer.
Y'all, I lied like a Persian
Yeah,
rug.
he sure did. He said he was doing all these things, and I was like, wow, okay. But I mean, at the end of the day, we still just had a good time with one another as friends.
We had a good time.
Conversation, and I was like, wow. He just so happens to also be able to help connect with me on the music as well, and help me to actually take it seriously. So where was I? Yeah, he said all these things. I had his picture with his fingerprints on it, and I gave the picture to my mother, and I said, hey, I'm going to go meet Rod, because she had already spoken to him on the phone.
Yep.
My grandma spoke to him. My whole family was literally on the phone with him, just like I was. We were all laughing, having a good time. They realized that he was a part of my life at that point, even though we hadn't met. And even with him, he was putting me on the phone with his friend. He was putting me on the phone with his friends, pastor, I don't know about family member, maybe, but so we were kind of already, getting to know people around one another's lives. So it just kind of made it more comfortable. And I don't recommend this. London, don't do this. But I did, because I was scared to fly, get on a Greyhound bus and rode 21 hours from South Carolina to Houston, Texas.
Houston, yes.
To meet this man.
Yes. Yep.
So you want to tell them what it was when we first actually saw each other.
So I had prepared when I found out she was coming. I prepared. I might have rented a car or did something. I don't know if somebody let me borrow one or something. I'm like, I'm gonna at least need a car, y'all. And so I got a car and I picked her up from the Greyhound station, and it was, the spark started flying. I picked her up and we just had a great time.
Yeah.
We hung out and I think went to eat.
Went to the mall. And then you actually lied about where you were living. I think you were like using your friends.
Right. So that was another thing, y'all. I was faking it till I make it. So a friend of mine let me borrow his place. It was a really nice bachelor pad. And so I must have been impressive because, you know, here we are today. She must have liked the house.
Well, regardless of that, I really didn't care because, so it was a great first impression. Nice vehicle, nice apartment. He took me out, treated me very nicely. I went back home. Then I did come back out. When I came back the second time is when I think the clock struck 12 for Cinderella, and the pumpkin, the carriage turned back into a pumpkin, and the horses turned into mice. No, so I saw his real apartment at that point.
Not the real one.
And he literally had no vehicle. We walked everywhere. I even remember at one point he asked me, "Do I want to go to the movies?" I said, "Yeah." And you know, we had to
Ankle Express.
Yeah.
Listen, the real department. If you from Houston and you know where Fondren airport is, listen.
I think there was wanted posters all around.
Yeah, FBI.
Yeah,
you know.
of people that were, you know, doing some horrible things in that apartment. So then, again, I remember he asked, did I want to go to the movies? We ended up walking. He said it was right up the street. We were walking for 4 hours. I had on heels trying to be cute for him. We had to like take a detour to Home Depot, and he bought me some like flip flops because I finished.
I was so disconnected from reality.
Yeah. There was no Uber. I think, did we call it a cab or flight?
Yeah, we might have called a cab.
On the way home.
Called a cab
on the way home.
back. On the way back.
But yeah. But anyways, let's get this story wrapped up. So yeah, that's how it started. At that point, we dated. He, like I said, he was a prophet because he eventually did end up getting signed. Y'all know his story, to Bad Boy as a producer, and started working with a bunch of different artists in the secular space. Then that transferred over into a lot of gospel records that he worked on, produced, and wrote on. And so he did do everything he said. He was.
So I didn't lie, y'all.
He didn't lie. He prophesied.
I knew what the Lord wanted to do.
Yeah. So he did, and he you know, after that point, I believe it was only a year of us dating, and we decided that it was time to go ahead and do things right. And so at that point, we didn't have a wedding. I told my mom I'm going to go marry this man. She begged me not to because she wanted me to have a real official wedding. But I felt the like you said, the peace and the push to go ahead and do this thing, because I knew that there was something on the other side of it that the Lord needed us to get this piece right so that he could allow us to walk into.
Yes. And so my father, who was a big part of my spiritual walk early on, he passed away, God rest his soul, but he kind of facilitated or kind of guided me into the marriage part. And you know, I had questions, and he said, look man, you're gonna have to honor God first, and no matter how much money you got right now, you need to get married. You got somebody who's a good woman. And he even prophesied to me about my wife, and so it just added to the level of peace that I already felt. I knew that I was going in the right direction, and I knew that this woman was from God.
Yeah, so like he said, my father-in-law, a wonderful man, he did some quick marriage counseling with us. I think it was like might have been 15 minutes. And I had on shorts and a t-shirt. I don't know, I'm sure you had on something.
Probably some shorts.
Some shorts. And we came down into the living room, and in front of him and his wife at the time, we just got married right there. And here we are, 22 that is our story in a nutshell. This is something that a lot of people always ask us about, so I felt like, why not us just give them the long version on a video, and so that y'all can, dissect it, get your popcorn, sit there and just kind of just walk it out with us, and go through the emotions we're going through, and just see how it all came
down. Now, if you are dating someone and you've got questions, hey, what are some red flags? What are some signs that I'm hearing from God? If you have any questions at all, you can always reach out to my wife or myself, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Even if you are married and you've got questions, please reach out to us at any time. We love y'all.
Bye.